Hey everyone, we're diving into a developing story out of Santorini, Greece, one of the world's most beautiful and popular tourist destinations. The island is currently facing a series of earthquakes that have driven away thousands, but not everyone is leaving. We'll explore the situation, the science behind it, and the incredible resilience of the people who call Santorini home. The earthquake situation. Santorini, along with the islands of Amorgos, Anafi, and Ios, has been experiencing a series of near-constant tremors and undersea earthquakes since January 31st. The most significant quake so far, a 5.2 magnitude tremor, struck on Wednesday night, intensifying fears and prompting a mass exodus. More than 10,000 residents and workers have left the island this week, seeking safety elsewhere. Official response and precautions. Greek authorities have declared a state of emergency on Santorini, set to last until March 3rd, to facilitate the response to the ongoing seismic activity. Schools have been closed, rescuers dispatched, and residents advised to avoid ports and indoor gatherings due to the high risk of landslides. Some of Santorini's iconic clifftop towns have been cordoned off for safety, and army, fire service and police units have been deployed to the island. Seismologists' perspective. While Greece is no stranger to earthquakes, seismologists are calling the current level of activity unprecedented and warn that it could continue for weeks or even months. Experts clarify that the tremors are not related to volcanic activity in the Aegean Sea, but they cannot predict whether these tremors will lead to a more powerful earthquake. Vasilis K. Karastathis, a seismologist and director of research at the National Observatory of Athens, emphasizes, "We are not yet in a position to say that we are seeing any evidence that would lead to the sequence slowly coming to a conclusion. We are still in the middle of the road. We haven't seen any easing, any sign that it's heading towards a regression." Why it matters. That these are undersea tremors. The fact that the tremors are primarily underwater reduces the potential for widespread damage compared to land-based seismic events. Historical context. The devastating 1956 earthquake. Santorini's history is intertwined with seismic events. The island's unique shape was formed following one of the largest volcanic eruptions in history around 1600 BC. A 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck between Santorini and Amorgos in July 1956, devastating the island and killing 53 people. Irini Mindrinou, an 83-year-old resident, recalls, "I remember our dog and bird acting strangely. Then, the earthquake struck. The house split open before closing again. Through the crack in the roof, I could see the sky. The island, then a quiet fishing village, was scarred, and many people fled. It has since been rebuilt into a top tourist destination, but the memory of the disaster remains. The current exodus and the resilient locals. Subtle tremors that began in June 2024 turned into full-fledged quakes, shaking homes and unsettling the island's residents. Families rushed to leave by air and sea, desperately seeking respite as the ground shook once again. However, not everyone is fleeing. Those who remain display a mix of courage, necessity, and a deep connection to the land. They endure sleepless nights, haunted by memories of the past and the terrifying unknown of what's yet to come. They are the backbone of Santorini, determined to weather the storm. Conclusion. The situation in Santorini is a stark reminder of the power of nature and the challenges faced by communities in seismically active regions. While tourists may seek safer havens, the enduring spirit of the local population shines through. We'll continue to monitor the situation and bring you updates as they develop. Speaking at a press conference at the Ministry of Civil Protection following a high-level meeting chaired by Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis, Lekas emphasized the necessity of immediate actions to mitigate geological threats in the Cyclades region, particularly in Santorini and Amorgos. Lekas noted that the risk of landslides along the caldera's slopes is significant, with 5 critical areas identified for intervention: the old port of Fira, Athenios port and its access roads, the coastal areas of Amoudi and Armeni in Orteia, and the settlement of Korphos in Tirasia. Athenios port is a high-risk zone, handling over 1.5 million visitors annually, said Lekas. Efforts are already underway to reduce the dangers posed by landslides, and we have proposed additional measures to the Coast Guard and Hellenic Police to manage the large volumes of people passing through the area. The old port of Fira sees an even higher traffic volume, with approximately 2 million visitors each year, including 1.5 million transported via the island's cable car. Given the steep volcanic terrain and the erosive nature of the rock formations, Lekas underscored the need for urgent maintenance and reinforcement of protective structures implemented a decade ago. Landslides have also been observed in Armeni, where containment efforts are ongoing, while the unregulated expansion of Amudi over the past 30 years has necessitated new stabilization initiatives. In Thirasia's Korfos settlement, where no prior works have been conducted, authorities are planning interventions that will align with the area's natural environment. Lek has also praised the scientific community's unprecedented unity in addressing these challenges, noting that their collaboration has resulted in well-documented risk assessments and strategic planning. Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis reassured Santorini's residents and visitors, urging them to remain calm and cooperate with authorities in light of recent seismic activity in the region. During a briefing at the Climate Crisis and Civil Protection Ministry, Mitsotakis emphasized the government's commitment to transparency and regular updates. We decided that it is crucial to provide the public with clear and accessible information about this highly complex geological phenomenon, he said. We have some of the world's leading experts on earthquakes and volcanoes working on this, and Santorini itself is a unique geological laboratory attracting international scientific interest. The Prime Minister outlined 3 key geological factors currently being monitored: volcanic activity at Nea Kameni, which remains stable, the underwater Colombo volcano, which is under close observation, and tectonic movements along an active fault line which have led to prolonged seismic activity. Today we are somewhat more optimistic than we were yesterday, Mitsotakis stated cautiously. However, absolute adherence to civil protection guidelines is essential. The state mechanism is fully mobilized, and we are prepared for any scenario. He also underscored Greece's advancements in civil protection, highlighting efforts to educate the public on emergency preparedness, including tsunami awareness and evacuation procedures. Our priority is the safety and protection of human life, the Prime Minister concluded. We will continue to act decisively in the coming days, hoping that the situation stabilizes. With significant resources deployed to Santorini and other Cycladic islands, authorities are determined to safeguard both residents and the vital tourism sector that drives the region's economy. The coming weeks will be crucial in determining the stability of Santorini's geological landscape and the effectiveness of newly implemented safety measures.